Welcome back, everyone. Today we're making a hooded scarf. You can make this scarf out of both stretch and non-stretch material. You can wear it multiple ways, and it also can be made reversible. It's super easy to make, so if you're new to sewing, you should have no problem following the easy step-by-step tutorial. With all that being said, don't forget to grab the printable pattern and let's get started. Getting started with supplies, you'll need 2 yards for your main fabric, and you can use any style of fabric for this project. You can use anything from non-stretch to stretch material, and that's going to include fleece, knitwear, canvas, denim, twill, pretty much any fabric you can find you can use for this project. I'm actually going to be using an upholstery fabric. It's on the heavier weight side. I really like the look of this fabric. It gave it a more luxury feel, but like always, get creative, test different fabrics, and find something that's really going to work with your design. You'll need 2 yards for your secondary fabric, and this is going to be for the fabric on the inside. Since I'm not making mine reversible, I'm going to be using a lightweight flannel so it's nice and cozy. But if you are making yours reversible, then you're going to want to pick a fabric that's going to work both on the inside and outside. You'll need 1 yard of cord or drawstring, and this is going to be used for the hood adjustment. It is optional. If you don't want to add this feature, you can skip this supply. Going along with that cord or drawstring, you'll need 2 eyelets. These will be used for the openings to feed the cord or drawstring through, and you can use any size eyelet. I'm going to be using an 8mm. I found it worked very well, and it wasn't too big. You'll need a 1/4 yard of 1 to 2 inch width webbing, and this will be used up front to hold the buckle. And going along with that webbing, you'll need a 1 to 2 inch width buckle. These supplies are also optional. If you don't want to add the closure up front, you can skip these supplies, or you can swap them out for a different type of closure. Lastly, you'll need your pattern. This pattern is available at properfitclothing.com. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is download it, print it out, tape it together, and you're ready to go. Before taping it together, the best thing to do is cut off the top and one of the side edges. This is going to allow you to overlap the pages for a perfectly aligned pattern. And after gathering all your supplies and printing off your pattern, it's time to move into cutting. And after taping your pattern together, it should look like this. Be sure to check your printer alignment for the best possible results. And from here, we're going to cut on the outside of the black line. And after cutting out each piece, the scarf panel actually has 2 parts that need to be taped together. You'll see a connection point on each panel, and that's where you overlap the 2 sides. Tape it down, and you're ready to cut out your fabric. And if you want, you can actually change the length of the scarf panel at this point. You can add or subtract to increase or decrease the length. This is a super easy way to customize it to your measurements. But anyways, moving on, after cutting out your fabric, you're going to want to end up with 4 hood drawstring cord panels, 2 cut out of your secondary fabric and 2 cut out of your main fabric. 2 middle hood panels, 1 cut out of your secondary fabric and 1 cut out of your main fabric. 4 hood panels, 2 cut out of your secondary fabric and 2 cut out of your main fabric. And lastly, 4 scarf panels, 2 cut out of your secondary fabric and 2 cut out of your main fabric. Moving on to construction, we're going to start by grabbing the hood drawstring cord panels, separate the 2 fabrics with right sides facing up, and for this first step we don't need the secondary fabric layer, so we can place that off to the side. Using the pattern, locate the eyelet placement guide and mark that on your fabric. Both of my panels are laying with wrong sides together, so I'm only going to mark it on 1 panel. For this step we're going to be installing eyelets, and I'm using an 8mm eyelet, but feel free to change up the size. Or if you don't want to install the eyelets, you can move on to the next step. Using scissors or a punch, create your opening, and I'm punching through both layers of fabric. And if you are using a bigger eyelet than 8mm, I do recommend shifting the eyelet guide inward. You want to be further away from the edge with a bigger eyelet, so that way you don't stitch over it in the seam allowance. Now we're going to take our eyelet, feed it through the opening from the right side, and add the backing on the back. My eyelets came with a hammer die. If you don't want to use a hammer die, you can use a pliers or press to speed up your production. Place the base on the right side of the eyelet and hammer it down from the back, and you don't need a lot of force or else you're going to bend the eyelet. And really, you don't need to follow the exact eyelet placement guide. You can put these anywhere along that bottom edge as long as you're away from the 1/4 inch seam allowance so you don't stitch over it in future steps. But anyways, moving on to the next step, grab the secondary fabric layer along with the hood panels. Separate the secondary fabric and main fabric layers. Using the pattern, locate the connect to edge guide, and this is where we're going to be sewing these 2 panels together. So line the panels up along the front edge with right sides together. And make sure you're lining the correct edge up. On the hood panel, it's going to be the shorter side on the drawstring panel. Once you have both sides lined up and pinned down, take it to the sewing machine and stitch at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And you really want to make sure you stitch at exactly a 1/4 inch seam allowance, or else the scarf panel is not going to line up with the bottom edge correctly in future steps. This next step is optional, but it does really make it look professional. We're going to be adding a top stitch to that new seam. And there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can fold the seam allowance to the left or the right. Each direction makes for a different look and is totally up to you. I'm going to fold mine to the right and add my top stitch. I'm going to be adding a top stitch to all my layers. If you are using a knit fabric for the secondary fabric layer, you don't need to add a top stitch to that layer. I'm using a flannel for my secondary fabric layer, so it's not as stretchy, and that's why I chose to add the top stitch. But if I was using a stretchy knit for the secondary fabric layer, I probably would skip the top stitch. But anyways, moving on to the next step, we're going to grab the middle hood panel, separate the layers with right sides facing up. Using the pattern, locate connect edge to hood guide, and this is the edge we're going to be attaching to the back curved edge of the hood. If you're having troubles locating it on the hood, it's also labeled on the pattern. So place the right side together, and if the two panels were sewn correctly in the previous steps, then the panel should line up perfectly with the back curved edge. Now we're going to separate the two layers and place the secondary fabric panels together. Grab the second hood panel, and we're going to place it on the opposite side of the middle hood panel with right sides together. We're going to start with sewing the first one on, and then we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side for the second hood panel. It's a quicker way to jump a few steps to speed up your production. And once you have your first hood panel pinned down, take it to your sewing machine and stitch at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just like in the previous steps, you want to be very accurate with the 1/4 inch seam allowance so that way the bottom edge lines up perfectly with the scarf panel in future steps. Since we are sewing on a curve, after finishing up, double check the layers, make sure everything got stitched together. And that middle hood panel is the exact length of that back curved edge of the hood panel. So if yours turned out off, you can always trim it, or you're going to have to recut it and re-sew it on. Now we're going to flip the right sides out, move to our new seams, and just like in the previous step, we're going to be adding a top stitch so you can fold the seam allowance to the left or the right. I'll be folding my seam allowance towards the center of the middle hood panel and adding my top stitch. It does make a pretty big difference in the look, especially if you're using different fabrics for these panels. So it's something you'll want to play around with. And again, I'll be adding a top stitch to my secondary fabric layer. If you're using a knit fabric, then you can skip this step. For a nice top stitch, I do recommend using an edge presser foot and also matching your thread color to your fabric color to hide any imperfections. As you can see, by folding the seam allowance towards the center of the middle hood panel, it really made that middle hood panel stick out. And if you folded it in the opposite direction, it would make the hood panel stick out more than the middle panel. It's just something to think about if you're using different color fabrics for each panel. Moving on to the next step, we're going to flip the wrong sides out for the main fabric, and then we're going to place the secondary fabric inside the main fabric hood with right sides together. And what we're doing is lining up the front edge of both of the hood panels. Once we have both edges lined up, place a few pins, and we're going to stitch just that front edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just like in the previous steps, you want to be very accurate with the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now we're going to flip the right sides back out and line up the secondary fabric and main fabric layers along the front edge. You want them to be perfectly lined up so that way they don't shift around along the bottom edge and stay the same length. For this next step, we're going to be adding a top stitch just to the front edge, and we're actually going to be waiting on the second top stitch on the opposite side of the eyelet. So place a few pins, take it to your sewing machine, and add your top stitch. And you can add this top stitch any distance away from that edge as long as you're not in line with your eyelet. And as you can see, this top stitch really does make a big difference. It separates the main and secondary fabric layers, prevents them from shifting around, and overall makes it look more professional. But anyways, that is going to complete the hood panel assembly for the moment. We will be adding the drawstring stitch in future steps, but that comes after we attach the scarf panel. So for now, we can place the hood assembly off to the side and grab the scarf panels. Separate the secondary fabric from the main fabric layer with right sides facing up, and for this first step, we don't need the secondary fabric layers, so we can place those off to the side. Separate the main fabric layers with right sides facing up. Using the pattern, locate the webbing buckle placement guide, and this is where we're going to place our webbing and buckle. If you don't want to add a webbing and buckle, then you can skip ahead to the next step. I'll be using a smaller webbing and buckle set, but you can go all the way up to 2 inches. Just keep in mind, the bigger you go, the more clunky it's going to be, but it does make for a different look. Feed the webbing through each side of the buckle, and then we're going to place it directly on top of the webbing placement guide. Since mine are smaller, I'm placing them directly in the center, but if you're using bigger webbing, you might take up the whole surface area. I'm also moving mine closer to the edge because I don't want a lot of that webbing showing in the final product. If you want more webbing showing, then you can push them in the opposite direction, but once you're ready, we're going to take them to the sewing machine and tack stitch as close as you can to the outside edge. With the webbing in position, we're going to grab all of the scarf panels, lay them out, the right sides facing up, using the pattern, locate the back edge, and this is the edge we're going to be stitching in the next step. So place the right side together for the main fabric and the secondary fabric layers, line up the back edge, place a few pins, take it to the sewing machine, and stitch at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And remember, you want to be very accurate with the 1/4 inch seam allowance, or else it's not going to line up correctly with the hood panel in future steps. But anyways, for this next step, we're going to be adding a top stitch, and it doesn't matter if you fold it to the left or the right, it doesn't make a big difference for this step. So once you're ready, take it to your sewing machine and add your top stitch. And again, if you're using a knit fabric for the secondary fabric layer, you don't need to add a top stitch. And after stitching, double check, make sure everything is looking good. If everything checks out, we're going to open up both of these panels with right sides facing up. Then we're going to place the right sides together, lining up the outside edges. Before we place the stitch, it's very important to grab the pattern and mark the stop stitch points. Line the pattern up in the center of the panel, subtract the seam allowance from the back edge, and along the top edge you'll see a sew stop point guide, and this is where you're going to start and stop the stitch on the opposite side. We'll be starting at one of the sew stop points and then stopping at the one on the opposite side, leaving that top edge unstitched. And it's not going to be the entire top edge, it's just that middle center point. And don't forget to mark it on the opposite side of the seam. You definitely don't want these layers shifted around as you're sewing, so place a ton of pins around the outside edge, and once you have those points marked, take it to your sewing machine and stitch at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. When it comes to the corners, I will be sewing directly through the corners and starting a new stitch. But if you prefer doing a corner stitch, you can do that instead. Just take your time and try to keep the layers as lined up as possible as you're stitching. Since this is a very long stitch, I do recommend checking both sides after sewing to make sure all the layers got stitched together. If everything is looking good, we're going to move to the area that was not stitched and flip the right sides out. And just like we did with the top stitch on the front edge of the hood panel, we're going to line the main fabric and secondary fabric layers up along the edge and add a top stitch all the way around that outside edge. And a way to make it look really professional if you're using 2 different color fabrics, you switch your bobbin thread out to match the fabric color on the bottom and then your top thread to match the fabric color on top. It's the small details like this that really take your project to the next level. I really like adding these top stitches, but again, you don't need to add the top stitching if you don't like the look. But when it comes down to it, it's not all about the look, you're actually adding another stitch which will add another layer of durability. But anyways, moving on to the next step, grab the hood panel assembly and flip it so the wrong sides are facing out. Now we're going to line up the non-stitch area on the scarf with the bottom edge of the hood assembly. Start by separating the 2 layers of the hood panel assembly, then we're going to place the scarf panel in between both those layers with right sides together and make sure you're lining the main fabric up with the main fabric on the hood assembly. If everything was sewn at a 1/4 inch seam allowance in previous steps correctly, then the unstitched area of the scarf panel should butt up to the outside edge of the hood panel assembly. Once you have all those layers lined up, place a few pins and then we're going to add a stitch along that bottom edge, but we're going to leave a 2 to 4 inch gap in the center so we can pull the right sides out after stitching. And when you leave that gap in the center, you want to add a nice tack stitch on both sides. And since we're working with a lot of layers, double check it, make sure all those layers got stitched together, then we're going to move back to the opening and pull the right sides out. Now we're left with a small opening in the center and all we have to do is fold that fabric inward so the right sides are together. Do the same thing for the secondary fabric on the inside, lining up the bottom edges of both the main and secondary fabric layers. Place a few pins so those layers don't shift around and add a top stitch along the entire bottom edge. And we'll be placing the top stitch on the hood assembly side. And if you did it correctly, the front edge of the hood should have a little gap in between the scarf and the hood panel assembly. Now you can try to get it closer and reduce that gap, but if there's a little gap there, that's totally fine, because that gap is primarily from the seam allowance when we sew the hood panels together. Next, we're going to flip the hood assembly on the side and add our drawstring stitch. You can pretty much add it anywhere on the outside of the eyelet, or you can use the pattern, lay it over top, reduce the seam allowance on the outside edge, and make your mark. Either way works, you mainly just want to stay out of the way of the eyelet so you don't run it over with the stitch. But once you're ready, take it to your sewing machine and add your top stitch. This stitch is going to create a loop for the drawstring to travel through. And if you're choosing not to add the drawstring or the eyelets, then you can skip ahead to the final step. Now that we have our loop, we can grab our drawstring or cord. And if you're wondering, I'm using standard paracord. All you have to do is feed it through the eyelet down the path to the opposite eyelet. It does help to tape something onto the end of the cord so you can feel it as you're pulling it through, or you can switch it up and use a coat hanger. There's a ton of different techniques to speed up this step, but once you get it through, pull it out to the distance you would like and trim both ends. To finish off the cord ends, I'll be using cord caps. They come in a bunch of different styles and finishes. Slide the cylinder part onto the cord, clamp the prong section down, and slide the cylinder part back over the prong section. This will lock the cap on and also seal off the raw edge of the cord. Add one to the opposite side, tie a couple of knots so it doesn't slide back through your eyelets, and to finish it all off, we're going to be adding our branding. I used leather strips and I added them with double-sided rivets. You can also use woven tags, embroidery, or even screen print. The last thing I want to go over are a few different ways you can customize the overall fit. The first is with the length of the scarf. It's really easy to change the length at the bottom. You can make it longer or shorter. Along with that, you can swap the buckles out for different closures. You can use magnetic snaps to make it more subtle, or even use lobster clasps. Another fun and easy thing you can do is swap out different color fabrics for each panel on the hood. Overall, this is going to change the whole dynamic of the hood and make it look totally different. The last quick adjustment is changing the thickness of the scarf, and this is done by increasing or decreasing the height along the bottom edge. And all these changes can lead to totally different looking scarves. So have some fun with it, get creative, and make a scarf that's really unique to your style. And there you have it, your new hooded scarf is complete. Hopefully yours turned out as good as mine did. And there's so many different fabrics you can use for this project. You can go the knit route and make it super cozy and warm. You can use mesh material and make it for the summer. Or you can do what I did and use a heavyweight non-stretch material so it blocks the wind and gives it a more luxury look. So I hope you have some fun with it, and like always, I want to see what you come up with, so tag me on Instagram at Proper Fit Clothing, and until then, I'm going to keep the videos coming at you, so I'll see you next time.